Guys, so I am in-house. It's kind of dark here, so if you're watching, we did our best today. So this is one of my besties. This is Ashley. Say it.
Swirple.
Swirple.
It's the only word that rhymes with purple.
Purple.
Swirple.
Swirple.
It's Polish.
Ashley.
Swirple.
Purple.
Circle.
And my son calls her Sure Nipple. So Ashley is here today in our location because she's actually the one that helps me with my skin stuff, my Botox, toxins. And she's been on, this is her second time on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think so.
Make sure we're talking loud so we can hear in the microphone. Okay. All right. So I wanted to kind of get Ashley on here to kind of talk about Ashley really quickly and kind of how she got started and what her kind of goals is in her career. So Ashley, first of all, you are by trade a registered nurse, and you're still a practicing home nurse.
Yes. So I've been a registered nurse for 15 years.
Okay.
And I've done a lot of things. I've done critical care. I've floated. I've done telemetry step down. I've done a lot of things. Last 4 years I've been in home care.
Okay.
Because it works best for my kids because I have a 13, 15-year-old that are really, really busy in sports. So home care gave me flexibility.
Yeah.
As far as like, I can drop them off, pick them up, be present, be at every single game, holidays, weekends off.
Yeah. Yeah. And then your main interest though was beauty and
makeup, beauty. Myself, I've been getting, we call it the gateway drug, which is Botox. I'm 40 now, but since I was 32.
Yeah.
So
as kind of a maintenance and kind of a preventative.
Yes. And so the confidence that it gave me by going, I started out actually a doctor was doing Botox and I always felt heavy.
She means heavy, like
I felt really heavy between my brows. I always felt like I looked tired for like the first 4 weeks. And then I absolutely loved it. So it wasn't until I went to a nurse injector who was very well trained. That I was like, oh, this is how
feels better.
Feels how Tox is supposed to feel.
Yeah.
And so I always say that it was like the thing, it gives you confidence. And I say that it was the thing that made my sex life better. Am I allowed to say sex?
Yeah.
It actually made me
because it made you feel
over into every single other part of my life, feeling confident and feeling younger and brighter and everything else.
So that made you sort of feel like, because Ashley is a girl's girl. So if you know Ashley at all for a hot minute, you'll know that she's just like, yes, girl, you do you. Let me support you. Girl power.
Yes.
So you thought, and this is what, and then I got a little bit goosebumps because Ashley has such this biggest heart and knowing what she does in that industry. People can look at it a little different.
Yes.
And Ashley's heart is to help people feel confident because Ashley had come from a place of maybe feeling a little less than, like a lot of us girls, I think, have felt. And so you took that and said, gosh, this makes me feel amazing. I need to somehow help other people do this. And this was almost 10 years ago that started for you. So as you're kind of going along, getting this tag, still a nurse. And that's when I met her, she was nurse. And then we became closer friends about 4-ish years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she wasn't quite doing this then, but she still kind of had that heart. And she would talk to me about her face because I would be like, oh my gosh, you are so beautiful. What are you doing? She's like, oh, I just get a little bit of, preventative talks and things like that. So you took that and
the number one thing that people think I get is my lips, but these are just
those are
really
real.
Well drawn on plus full.
Yeah.
It's like the one thing that everybody thinks I get done.
Oh, really? That's funny. And so anyway, we kind of started that conversation and then you got into it and what sparked that for you to say, I'm finally going to do this?
So
how long ago?
And I had been wanting to do it for a very, very long time.
Basically since you started, like I need to give this to other, I want to give to other people.
And also just, I have an artistic eye and a really good eye for facial balance on people. And then I had also started doing, as I was getting into my late 30s, I was like, I love doing makeup artistry. And then you had hired me.
She did some photo shoot. Yep.
And then I've done weddings. And I guess just that I was kind of like, you know what? I want to be able to make everyone feel this way and enhance people's natural beauty.
And give them confidence.
And with and the confidence, but also with like the help of who was my nurse injector for a long time. She's like, just go for it. And I'm like, man, couple years till 40. And I want to just go after my dreams. My kids are getting a little bit older, a little more self-sufficient. And I was like, I'm either going to do it and I'm going to do it really, really well. Or I'm never going to do it at all.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go for it. And so that's when I started taking like certifications and things like that.
And I think it's a growing field, which is good and bad. Right. Yeah. Because there's a lot of kind of almost quick fixes. Same with the fitness space.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of red flag things where you're just like, oh, like, why are people listening to this? Why are people doing this? Why are, and as a fitness coach, my whole adult life, I think I look at sometimes some of the industry where I'm like, it's good that it's growing and it's more popular, but it's bad because the wrong information is getting spread and people do the wrong things, which can be detrimental on my end, but also
or how people will call themselves a coach and they have absolutely no credentials. It's the same thing. They might have taken an online course
for injecting,
go out and start doing things that they've learned sometimes on YouTube, trainings and things like that, and going around and
but legally they can do that if they get licensed.
Especially in Michigan, there's not a lot of there's not a lot of legislation on keeping things as safe. That's why I'm part actually of the Michigan Aesthetic Providers Network. So that's kind of like our little coalition that can kind of, I guess, go up to the higher ups to try to advocate for safer practice and education. And then we also provide education to other injectors. And as far as just trying to keep people safe. Because there's a lot of unsafe injectors out there. And honestly, I think they give what good injectors who train and have a really good eye and do the right things, give them a bad name because their work isn't.
I think it's kind of like any other industry. So, I mean, in the fitness space, so if somebody's like, oh, I've done that program or that type of program, it didn't work for me, where you're like, well, you didn't have me as your coach. You probably didn't do it as correctly as possible and maybe not the right type of motivation. Same thing with a doctor. They might go to a doctor and feel unheard and they just think all doctors are wrong and nobody's going to listen. Where you have these choices and you have to kind of find the person that works. Same thing in your industry. So if you have heard stories or maybe not had the right result with an injector, don't give up. So
don't give up. You might have felt like I had felt heavy when I first got my tox for the first time, but then I went to somebody who was really, really well trained and a registered nurse and had amazing results. And so the biggest thing is making sure that you are, for one, reading Google reviews. So where I work, I think we just hit our 400 or 500th 5-star review.
Oh, wow.
For really good injecting. And so reading that, not going to who is the cheapest. Going to somebody based, there's not a lot of things that you would go to the cheapest for, but somehow with somebody, which filler is considered a medical implant, and then actual Botox, which is a medicine, you're going to who is the cheapest. So, oh my gosh, I heard that so-and-so is doing it for this. Well, they don't really look at their credentials and they price shop when really, when it comes to your face, you should be going to somebody who's good at what they do and has good at
it's an investment. And that's the same thing with fitness. Like, I think we were having that conversation with one of our friends before they left, and kind of how fitness is in your food and what you do with your body is an investment into your health. And this is an investment into your face. And some people might think that's a little bit vain, but I come by the side of you. Everybody who knows me here that's watching this or listening knows that I like to do things very, very good for myself. And I wouldn't say very all natural, because a friend of mine, we're talking about this today and we're kind of both on the same page.
Is that anything natural?
Right. Well, the thing of it is we work ourselves out, we move our lymphatic system, we do all these things that are healthy. And And I come by the side to say, I'm going to save all of my toxins for my face. So you get to pick and choose, because some people choose to drink, some people choose, and that's okay. These are all things that we know that are like, okay, well, that might not be the healthiest, but at the end of the day, Botox is approved.
Mm-hmm.
It's been around for a very long time, longer than it's been injected into faces.
Yeah,
because the original use was for
to do with eyes, strabismus.
Yeah, and then I know people get it for headaches and all of these things, and like sweating of the palm, and so there's these medical reasons, and then they're like, oh, this makes my face look good.
Yeah.
So these are all very approved things.
Oh yeah.
And so anyway, I always just say, for those of you that are kind of living a little bit like me, or just like, oh, I like to be natural. I'm like, I'll just save it for the tox.
Well, and I'll get a lot of that they think that there's going to be long-term harm done by Botox, or it's cancer causing, which there is absolutely no link to cancer. And actually some people have used it to shrink cancer tumors.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. And so there's no matter what side you're on, you're going to be able to find something that really can support where you're at.
And I'm going to be real honest. I'm going to be really honest. The people that hate on it the most for a long time are actually, I find, are the ones that like,
they want to get it.
They want to get it done for a while. And then they just see that, okay, it can be done really, really well and really natural, and people don't look fake. It takes a lot to look fake, to be honest. And then those are the people that will kind of come to me a little bit later once they watch for a really, really long time and see, okay, well, she looks great.
Yeah.
Oh, then maybe this is an option for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, and you and I had this conversation too, before this too, is it's important to say that aging is inevitable.
Yes.
That's in my space, and especially like in the heart clinic, that's one thing we always say, it's the only non-modifiable risk factor is aging. We are going to age, whether you choose to age with something that we have available, like tox, or maybe filler, or some of the other skin stuff we'll talk about in a second, or not. That's up to you.
Yeah.
No one's better than the other.
No.
And this is just some options. And this is the bottom line is Ashley brought this to people and wanted to continue to bring this to people because it made her feel amazing.
Yes.
No different than a piece of clothing you find at Target that you're like, oh my gosh, I love this. I want everybody to have this.
Yeah.
Because this made me feel great. Or food at a restaurant.
Right.
This made her life change. It changed her relationship with herself.
Yes.
And which in turn helped with her spouse and her family and the confidence. And now here she is building another career long-term.
Yep.
To do this for other people.
At 40, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit on you injecting me. And I was probably one of the ones that was just so hesitant watching. Now, I will say that I have a lot of friends that do it, and, on both sides. So I have a lot of friends that are like, no, never would, not going to do it.
Right.
And then I have a lot of friends that are like, yes, I am a maximalist. I'm not a minimalist, and I want all the things. So I think Ashley's in the middle. I think
and then some people in the middle where they want to hide everything they've had done, but they've had a lot done.
Yes. And that's up to them.
That's totally okay too.
Yes. And that's up to them.
Secrets a lot.
Yes. And that's up to them. And I say the same thing about weight loss. So no, like stars and people that are in the spotlight, whether they're on social media or what have you, they don't owe it to anybody to tell them how they lost weight. What they're doing to their face, who's doing what. If they want to share, great. I'm very, very transparent, and that's the way I live my life, and I love it because I want everybody to feel amazing, just as I am by what I'm doing. I feel like it's a gift of mine to give.
Yeah,
but not everybody lives that way, and that's okay.
Right.
Yeah. So so nobody owes it because if somebody's like, oh, they lost weight because they use Ozempic, that's none of my business, or that's not. They don't owe it to us to tell us how they lost weight.
I mean, we already know.
Yes. Yes. And, or we can assume or whatever. But anyway, I want you, because I kind of came from the camp, like, I was a little hesitant, and I think there was a number of reasons I was hesitant. And the most thing was like, because I've had reactions to other things. I've had reactions to medications. I've had reactions to skincare. I had, reactions to my lifestyle. which kind of was amplified. I don't think I had breast plant illness, but was amplified when I had implants because my body was like, just so mad at me for everything.
Right.
It wasn't the implants. I don't think it was. But that was part of the process of me getting better was, getting them removed. But that wasn't the cause of what was happening. But I had so many reactions. So for me, it was the line of saying, okay, am I going to have a reaction?
Yeah.
And I was nervous for that. And I think that might be a lot of other people's kind of reaction too. Is they're like, oh, am I going to have a side effect? Because there's risks to everything. There's risk to taking Tylenol.
Yeah.
And
it's even amplified with, I guess, people seeing a lot of bad Botox or a lot of bad filler.
Because the people that are getting it aren't showing you that they're getting it half the time.
They just look great.
Yes. And they're not talking about how they didn't have a reaction.
Like, I don't look fake. Maybe people would think I look fake. I don't know. But I don't look abnormal, but I can't move my forehead or crunch down or
a little. Yeah. So, okay. So tell us first, what have you had done?
Okay. What have I had done? So maybe we'll zoom in a little bit.
Yeah. Get close.
So I obviously get tox, and
so show us where you get tox.
I get tox between my eyes, forehead, crow's feet. Recently I got a lip flip, which a lip flip.
Yeah. What's a lip flip? Talk to us.
Is tox. So it's different than lip filler.
Let's see.
It's, see how I'm a little derpy right now because it was like 2 weeks ago, but all it does is paralyze the orbicularis oculi muscle, which is a circular muscle around your mouth. So when I smile, it would curl under and it shows my gums really bad. So all it does is keep when you smile. So not everybody's even a candidate. So if it's not going to add volume. It's not going to add volume to your lip. All it does is keep it from curling under and showing your teeth like a gummy smile.
Oh, yeah. And
then I get my mentalis. I get my DAOs. So I can't move down.
So
like
that's
this.
tox.
Yes. All of it's tox. I do platysmal bands. So when I go like this, you can't see. So pretty much all of this in the lower face. As we age, the lower face muscles get stronger and the upper face muscles get weaker. And so it's pulling everything down. So
that's one of those
if you paralyze the muscles, it can sharpen the jaw. It can also give the illusion of less lines, what we call marionette lines, less nasolabial fold. And also with it not pulling down so hard, it can give the illusion of a little bit of cheek filling volume. On your face.
So all that's tox.
Everything's tox.
Everything's tox. Okay.
Now, what is filler?
Yeah, what is filler? Where is the filler? Talk to us about filler. I'm just going to hold this light on her so we can.
Okay, so
see
dermal hyaluronic acid based filler it mimics your own intrinsic hyaluronic acid, but then it also adds as we age, we lose bone. Our muscles get weak. Our bone resorbs.
So you guys, this all ties into fitness, by the way, because that's why I handle the body part, because we still lose muscle and bone in our body.
And you lose it in your face.
So this is how you save the face, and then you come see me
and especially
to build the muscle.
Right. And especially right here, you start to lose it in your mid face first. So a lot of times people will come to me and say, I don't like my marionette lines. I don't like my nasolabial folds. So we were talking about that. It's because also you're kind of, so I always say, let's look backwards because everything starts to fall inward. So if we look, there's a line of ligaments down the side of your face. Well, here. So if you can see right here, when I smile, the only spot that doesn't move is everything behind this line of ligaments. So restoring volume back here, which my boss, Kelly Hermans, would say is the bra of the face. Restoring volume back here and back here is going to pull everything back. And then also restoring filler around this area is going to restore the deep fat compartments and then the superficial fat compartments.
Because we lose it. So people start
to lose volume here, you sag here. You will never sag here, but adding a little bit, but you will lose bone. So adding volume to behind that line of ligaments, which is about right here, is going to, which I need a little bit more of, is going to snatch you backwards and also snatch back here. So when everything will look less visible in the mid face.
So when you get filler back here,
I get, oh Lord, I get filler everywhere. I have my jawline done. I do not have my chin. I do not have my lips. I have all the shadows in here, my mental crease. I have mid face multiple times. And so
but this has been a process for you over time.
So
yeah, she didn't go in and be like, do everything.
And
now some people do.
Everything's done in stages. So, and also you need to slowly correct. So we wouldn't suggest putting 17 syringes of filler in your face in one setting, but people might I might say, if they're complaining about their lower face, okay, let's start here, because that's within your budget to start up and it's everything is going to lift the face, and then slowly adding
so that's where somebody would get it first.
Every single time that somebody says that they,
because that's what I'll say to her. I'm like,
I look like a, what is the dog, like a
I don't remember what
you said something about a saggy dog.
I don't remember. But when I look at my face, because genetically I have this, because everybody's got a little genetic component to their face.
But as she's aging, things are pulling it. So what I would say is, let's restore here, and you can see it happen.
Oh, I pull up on it all the time.
Yes. So my husband, restore volume back here with a filler that is has a higher G prime density to it, to be able to snatch the face back a little. And then as you already noticed that difference, you can still fan different fillers within, and then add some in here to help to just soften all those folds. But I always start, everybody complains about their under eyes, they complain about their nasolabial fold, and they complain about their marionette line. Yeah. And so adding, if you notice on camera, adding a little cheek volume here is going to make your under eyes look less sunken in. And then adding volume back here is going to snatch everything back. So when somebody gets that, let's say somebody was like, I want this, and they have never come, would you, because that's one thing Ashley, I'm going to put this back here. Ashley really was adamant about when I first started talking about it. Because she's like, listen, I'm not going to tell you that I can give you 20 units of tox. She's like, that's not how this works. I need you to walk out of here, because you're representing me and you. And I need to make sure this looks balanced for you. And what my units may be completely different than hers or the next person, because my face is different. My forehead size is different. Everywhere is needing something different. I love your forehead size on this podcast. But I have a short forehead, and so I only honestly get 5 injection points on my frontalis, my forehead, because if not, I'll feel completely heavy. And what she means by heavy, I want to talk about this again, because like if you notice, like I have a pretty big eye area here. And so, and it's more even of feeling like this after you get tox and looking like a caveman, is the feeling of feeling heavy, where you're like, oh, can I please just get my eyes more open? And that was one of her biggest concerns with me. She kept saying, are you feeling heavy? Are you feeling heavy? Because we didn't know, because you don't know how you're going to respond. Right. You know, she can do her best with knowing the facial structure. And that's one thing of a good injector, not good injector, is understanding where to put things to make somebody not feel that way. I'm very sensitive to how I feel. Yeah. So she knew that going in too. And I think that's why she was very sensitive to me and my own feelings to say, I want to make sure you're happy. I want to make sure you're confident. I don't want to come into this and make you feel less confident. And that was important to me, for her to say that. But also, what she means by heavy is like it feeling like this. You feeling like heavy. And then some people might go, I've had heavy talks before, and they're like, are you sad? Are you tired? Or like, have you been crying? And like, that's not how you should feel. Right. So going to an injector that knows that we're going to start light, knows where to start on the forehead, the areas of the forehead that are going to help lift forehead, because they're, in general, it's a lifting muscle. So if you paralyze it, you're going to feel, you'll have a little bit of a drop, but counteracting it with treating between your eyes. And then for some people, only treating along the hairline. Yeah. This area, of the top of the forehead, has been found to actually, for some, to be a depressor muscle. So keeping your injections really high is going to make that elevate. So going to somebody that knows that is, and not just somebody who you found for $8 tox on the internet, it's going to make the difference. And she wouldn't, and I was one that said, can you just do here? And she's like, listen, we have to do here, because if I only do here, this is going to look off, because you're going to look like 2 different faces. Yes. And that's how I can always relate this back to my own field and space, because if somebody comes to me and they're just like,
I just want to tone my arms. And I'm like, that's fine.
That's me.
But
I'm that person.
But what you don't understand, you're saying, and this is my specialty, my industry, is you want to build muscle here to make it firm. And then we have to complete your body by the full workouts because we need to strengthen everything and it will give you a complete look.
Yes.
And that is my space too. And so I can relate what she's doing to the same thing. And that's why that's why when she explains things to me, she's like, oh my gosh. But it's me understanding what she's doing.
Well, we're both kind of in an aesthetic industry.
Absolutely.
I mean, people work out for a lot of different reasons, but they're working out usually because they want 90% look better.
90% of the time people come to me or any other coach in the beginning to lose body fat. Right. That's it. They want to lose body fat. They want to look better. They want to feel better. I always hope that, and I'm sure you are the same way, I hope that they not only gain muscle, because that's the ultimate goal of me, is to help people gain muscle, but gain the knowledge and understanding of what that is, and also gain confidence through that and the feeling of being strong and all of those things. For you, we gain not only the confidence of feeling like, wow, like the girl that was in here that got hers done. She finally told me, she confessed. And she's like,
I just feel good. I look better.
She's like, I have more confidence. I look better. And cause I was like, we have to love ourselves. And she's like, oh, I still love myself. I just love myself a little more now.
A little bit more. I'm like,
yeah.
I just feel better.
And so anyway, Ashley wouldn't just do your forehead. She had to do around here too. And then I didn't even know that I had these little lines right here that I actually,
your little bunny.
Yeah. So whenever she does these, I love the look of when it's really freshly done.
Yeah.
I don't know. And you have like different things that you love.
And also the same thing with, as you're getting older, a lot of the upper face is kind of the gateway drug, but like the lower face, as we age, starting to do that it's like the icing on the cake. So it just helps.
Yeah.
And it helps to be more of a cohesive look. So a lot of times when people feel like people look fake with Botox is because they're only just like everything else is smooth and everything else looks like a disaster. So starting to look at your lower face for Botox, your neck for Botox, and things like that is going to be kind of that cohesive look as well.
Yeah.
As you get older.
Yeah. Because I've noticed too, little people that may be older and they almost look a little bit crepey through their face here, but it looks really shiny.
Then it's like a giveaway.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to lead that into kind of, let's say somebody was kind of on the fence and they're like, I really want Botox, but I'm not ready, or B, because Ashley is not here to convince anybody to do their face.
And honestly, and some people, there are some people that go into aesthetics for money. For one, please don't go into it for money because you're not going to make it.
Same for fitness.
You have to go in for passion and wanting to make people feel better. And I would be the absolute worst business owner because I work for someone. I don't own my own business.
Yeah.
But is going in it.
She works for the best injector in Michigan.
I think the best.
Yeah.
In Michigan is what I like to say. Yeah. But what were we?
Oh, we were talking about, let's say they weren't quite ready.
Oh, no, but I was saying money wise, I would do if you would do every single thing for free and work all day for free, that would be a horrible business decision and financial decision, but I would do every single thing to see other people happy, and women and men, because
fair share, guys.
Yeah. Guys with Botox, also jawlines, cheeks in men as well. That just the way that they feel and they present themselves afterwards. I would do this all day for free.
Yeah.
If I'm men, I could feed my kids.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have another friend, we were talking about that the other day, where I've been coaching my whole adult life, and it's definitely not for the money, because I am not a millionaire by any stretch, where I'm very blessed to be able to do what I love to do. Yeah. But I wouldn't say that I would work for free, but I would because you get to the point where it's like, I don't do what I want. But I would certainly help people for free.
Oh yeah.
And give them everything that I can.
Yeah.
Because I know what it does for me.
Because you love it.
And I think that, I think anybody that really does what they love would say the same thing. so that I feel like that's kind of the heart of Ashley and her wanting to say, okay, yeah, I'm not going to push you to do this. Number one, because you won't like it if I'm pushing you to do it. Number one, you're gonna immediately say that you don't like it if I make you feel like you have to do it.
No.
But let's say somebody was on the fence. They're like, I'm not quite ready, or maybe I can't afford it yet.
Okay.
What can I do? Okay, so there's gonna be two questions here. So this is the first one. So what can I do first of all to maybe get my skin ready? Like, what are some skin things that we can do to make our skin look better? And then maybe to prep ourselves for tox in the future. What would be a couple things that you would love?
Number one is skincare. If you're feeling like you have dull or discolored, I mean, I'm 40, so I remember
big pores.
I remember GTL, gym tan laundry.
Yeah.
Where we were all freaking black.
Yeah.
Like the darkest, like just I almost looked dirty.
Yeah.
I was so over tan.
So
getting all that old sun damage off is a really good peel. Where I go, we offer the Perfect Derma Peel. So it's kind of a medium depth peel to get some sun damage,
so you would start
fine
with
lines,
a peel.
melasma, all the kinds of stuff. Biggest thing that I want everyone to know is sunscreen.
Yeah.
80% of your breakdown of collagen and elastin in your skin, even above smoking, even though we don't like smoking.
Sure.
Even above that is sun damage.
She's not condoning smoking. She's just saying that sun damage is worse on your skin than smoking.
I mean, it's the number one thing. Wearing sunscreen every single day, SPF 50, mineral-based sunscreen. The reason we say mineral-based is because chemical-based sunscreens hold heat into the skin and then can make a lot of skin conditions worse. Like melasma is heat-induced.
Okay.
And also sun-induced. That's why people have a lot worse melasma after. I mean, all skin conditions and sun damage are going to be worse, especially Michigan, where we're from, and we like to be out because it's the only time we get that's like nice weather. But the mineral-based reapplying at least every couple hours. Obviously, if you were in the water, maybe more often than that. Sunscreen.
Okay.
Other things that everyone
hats are a bonus.
Hat, and I look like RoboCop. Like,
you guys have to look up. I'll post a picture.
Cannot tell who I am if I wasn't 5'11" and with this hair, who I was in general when I am out in the sun. So staying out of the sun, covering your face with a visor, sunscreen, reapply, avoiding tanning beds. And then I always say the main things that if someone is going to integrate skincare, any couple skincare things, I'm always going to say retinol, which increases it speeds up your cell turnover. So as we age, that cell turnover rate is slower and slower. So it just helps build collagen and elastin in the skin and helps healthy cells come to the surface quicker and quicker.
Okay.
Number one, retinol. Vitamin C is our antioxidant to protect our skin.
Apply.
It's not going to fully
apply the vitamin C.
Yes, vitamin C to the skin. It's an antioxidant, which pretty much means that it's protecting your skin from, in a way, UV damage. So it's not a lot of people think it's like a natural, kind of a natural brightener. But what it's going to do.
That's how it's touted as. Like,
yes.
But
really, it's going to protect your skin from having further sun damage happening to you. Then you'll have your retinoid. And then I just love a really good eye cream.
Okay. What's something like over the counter? Is there over the counter eye cream or a favorite? Let's say somebody want to go to the drugstore, because we got to have drugstore options. We just have to, because some people are just going to go to the drugstore. What would be your go-to? Like, if you're like, okay,
I don't have any.
You don't have any.
I'm just going to be honest.
Yeah, I know.
It's so the difference between drugstore and medical grade skincare, things that I probably don't think make a huge difference is a medical grade face wash.
Okay. So you could get like Neutrogena face wash.
Something. Okay. Probably not but the biggest things is your additive. So anything drugstore, we're going to include Sephora brand in that. We're going to include Ulta, anything like that. They have to cap their
additive.
Yes, and their strengths of their products. They can't sell over a certain amount in percentages. That's why medical grade not only is tested for efficacy. Any drugstore can say that this does this. They have to have absolutely no medical testing whatsoever to prove that
like
works.
The supplement industry.
Yes.
Yes.
And then they have to cap their self at percentages of, not additives, active ingredients that work. So this is why medical grade is proven to work.
And they have to be monitored, and they have to, we know what's in there.
And we can add in higher active ingredients so that they actually work. So no matter what, if you're on a good skincare regime, even if it is over the counter, it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
But if you want to take your skin to the next level, you're going to invest in some staple medical grade products. Now, where I work, which is Beautiphi Aesthetic Boutique in Rochester Hills, Michigan, we've just launched our own skincare line, which I love. It's called Beautify Your Skin. The owner who has curated the collection wanted to make it where people had the best, most efficacious skincare at an affordable price.
Yeah.
Because a lot of
and people medical can get that grade online, right?
Yes. And we're going to be launching more.
Because I'll post that in here.
Yes. But she wanted it affordable for people. So instead of them reaching for Sephora, they're reaching for medical grade skincare at the same cost.
Yeah.
Affordable for people and very, very, very well tolerated on sensitive skin.
Yeah.
So you can get the whole shebang for, half or a third of what other medical grade skincare companies are selling their products for.
But again, that's an investment. So, so what I'm hearing is invest in a medical grade skincare.
Yes.
Maybe bit by bit, but talk to a professional when you go in on what you should use for yourself.
Exactly.
Retinol, vitamin C are two.
I say on everybody. And there's other skincare, going into a spa, a salon, and getting recommendations, because you could have rosacea. There might be other products that are better for this. I say that you can't go wrong with vitamin C and retinol in anyone.
Yeah.
In any skincare concern. But for me, niacinamide, I add in. It helps with skin texture, tone, evenness of the skin. There's a lot of other things that I don't call myself a skincare expert by any means, but like sitting down and curating your own skincare routine for, let's say, rosacea, acne, all these things going in. People, no knock to people at Ulta or they don't have the training or the knowledge to know what to recommend. And so they're going to recommend Drunk Elephant always.
Yeah.
But we'll be able to better curate something for you to, and over time, obviously it takes time for skincare regimes to work, but you'll start to notice visible difference when you switch from over the counter to medical grade.
So
within the first month, consistency every morning, every single night, never sleeping in your makeup, sunscreen, avoiding tanning,
vitamin C, sunscreen, retinol, a good medical grade, invest in a good medical grade skincare. And these are before and after talks or anything you've done to your face.
matter what. Because 80%, I mean, to be honest, 80%, we have laser machines, we have tox, we have filler, we have all biostimulating filler, we have all these things, but 80% of what you're going to look like skin health wise is done at home, no matter what. It's literally 80% and we're 20% of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that again correlates to fitness.
Yeah.
Because there's 80% done consistently over time with nutrition.
Yes.
And fat loss happens in the kitchen. It doesn't happen in the gym. We don't exercise off fat. We do that with nutrition.
Yes.
And it's the same thing as the consistency over time. So I think there's a big message there. We got to wrap it up now. This was a very fun conversation. I want to talk next time about kind of some of those collagen builders that we talk about that are that aren't tox.
Yeah.
because a lot of people always want to know about like the like you talked about the peels and the Sculptra of what you were talking about.
I use a lot of Radiesse, which is a biostimulating filler that stimulates
so we're gonna
collagen elastin.
yeah. So I want to talk a little bit more in depth about that next time.
Yeah.
And then maybe we'll get some questions from here too.
Yeah.
And then whatever you want to ask Ashley in regards to tox or skincare or anything, and she'll kind of bring it to you. I think this would be a great kind of opportunity for anybody to ask those personal questions. And I will say too that she has saved a couple of my friends. They've had some issues with maybe questions or talks questions, and they're like, can you call your friend,
or can you fix me?
Yeah. And she's like, yeah, just FaceTime me and I'll help you out.
Right.
So she's gonna pour her heart out. So if you guys have any questions at all, please ask, and we'll do this again really soon.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna say right now, I'm proud that I did not cuss once.
I know.
Aren't you impressed with me?
I'm very impressed. Yeah, you did really good. Yeah. When we get off here, she's gonna lay it down. All right, guys. Love you. Bye.